Hi, this is Debbie. Welcome back to Cheyenne Life. I wanted to give a little bit of an update. This is going to be a short video of how the tomatoes are doing that I had gathered that were all green. As you can see, about half of them have now turned red, so we will have more tomatoes to can very soon. And even some of the green ones are now starting to blush up. I will have to throw away probably 5 or 6, as you can see there. This was nothing to do with pulling them early. This was the plants were going into fall, and when it gets into fall, the tomato plants start to get a little diseased as they get older. Not really diseased, they're just into their life. So there's a few of them I will have to go ahead and just toss, but for the majority, probably 90% of the box, they're turning red. And I'm going to show you some of the other tomato plants that I had gotten, or tomatoes. And I have many of those that are turning red. And I apologize if you hear my grandson in the background. He's supposed to be taking a nap right now, and he is arguing that fact. I just had to turn the television off and tell him it's nap time, and he's just not happy with it. But he will survive because he is 2.5. So as you can see, there's still some that need to turn red, but they are beginning to. So no worries there. These are all good-sized Roma tomatoes and Jet Stars. So they are full-sized for the most part and are turning red. And even if some of the smaller ones have already turned red, and all of the rest of them are beginning to blush up to turn. So those will be more that will make sauce. And I wanted to show a little bit of an aloe plant that I have that is just so prolific. I have gotten so many of them, and they're still producing babies everywhere. I do not know what this one is called. I was given the plant because apparently it was not doing well where it was at. And they are just loving where I am. So they have started putting off babies like crazy. If anyone knows what this particular plant or aloe is called, because to me it kind of looks like an aloe, then let me know. But as you can see, I have loads of them. In fact, if anyone wants any, let me know. I'd be glad to send you some. But that is the little aloes, and I just keep taking the babies out and putting them into pots, and they keep just going like crazy. That's a different type of cactus. But I have 3 levels of these that are growing. And this one was actually the mother plant that I was sent, and it was completely dead. All of the little pieces through here were all dead, and I brought them back. So now they are starting to put babies off themselves, as you can see. And I just don't know what I'm going to do with all of these plants, because I definitely didn't want that many aloes. As you can see down here, I have big aloes already. But I just took them in because they were moving to Indiana. And I didn't want them to just be tossed. So as you can see, I have just loads of them. And then my lemon tree that I have brought inside, I put it back in this area, and it's doing just fine. In fact, putting on some more leaves at the top. I'm going to have to learn how to prune that one. I've never actually pruned a lemon tree. And this is my amaryllis. We will probably be seeing a bloom out of this before Christmas. And then I wanted to update you all a little bit on how my seed situation is going, because I was still collecting seeds even through the snow and everything. And as you can see, my herbs that I had dried, I am definitely full bags of herbs for this season. Usually I have about a half bag. This one's the only one that I don't really have full. But all of my other ones, this is all my basil, parsley, oregano, thyme, and rosemary. All of that is all full. So I have plenty of that, and I'm actually going to separate this out and put it in smaller bags, because these do need to be updated. I've had these a few years that I've been using and just adding into. And I took a suggestion from Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, about not breaking up my basil. Let's see, where did I put it at? Oh no, I just got through putting in a bunch of updated herbs, and now I've kind of gotten them all mixed in together. But anyway, I took a suggestion of her of not breaking up the leaves and just left them whole. I so far can't tell a difference between breaking them up and just leaving them whole, because to me, my basil is usually very strong anyway. Because with it being in Wyoming, there's not a whole lot of natural rain that happens through the summer. So when you don't have a whole lot of rain and you're limited on the water supply, the plants usually just get stronger. This would actually, to me, it seems like that Wyoming would be a great place to have vineyards, because grapes do well without having large amounts of water. It makes the grapes sweeter and bigger, and they taste better. It's more like the terrain, if you're, say, in Tuscany or in Italy, which I noticed a lot, was very similar to here, with not a whole lot of water as far as natural rainwater. They use water that comes from the cisterns and things like that. So the same thing here, we have to water from, I think all of the water comes from an aquifer, a huge aquifer underneath the entire Midwest and West. So I think that's where most of the water comes from, and that's what we water from usually morning and evening if it gets really, really hot. And then throughout the rest of the season, we just water in the morning. So the plants tend to be a lot more concentrated, I guess. And that's what I think as far as my herb collection goes, because they're all very, very pungent and enjoyable in any food. I don't have to use as much of them to get more bang for the buck, in other words. Also wanted to show you the corn. Remember, I saved 1 ear of corn to go ahead and save for seed for next year. And I kind of got a chuckle because I bought a bag of corn seed at the beginning of this season, because I did not have corn or grow corn previous to this season. I've grown corn in the past, but just not here. And it looks to me, as you can see here, all of the loose corn in the bottom of this bag is from this one little ear. And this ear was actually a little bit shorter than my typical corn that I grew this year. It was probably about 6.5 inches. And the corn type that I grew was about 7 to 8 inches, sometimes up to 9 inches. So this is the corn that I got and saved, because it was almost dried out anyway when I pulled it. And I just waited for it to dry, and then I just shelled it. And when you shell corn, it is so easy to do. You just take both hands, which I have one hand on the camera, and you just twist when it is dry, and it just all comes off. It's so easy. And I even did some of it with one hand. For me, it took about 3 to 5 seconds, and all the corn was off. And then I usually just shell it in a box like this, and then I'll just pour it into the bag. So I didn't lose any seed whatsoever. So anyway, this is at the bottom, that one ear of corn at the bottom. So all of that was that one ear, and this is the corn that I bought. And I remember I had a very, very small patch of corn. So I probably only used about maybe 30 to 40 seeds out of this bag, which would not have been much in the long run. And I have more corn in the bottom of the bag from one ear, this one ear, than I have in this package. And I paid $7 for this package. Corn, because it is a staple, usually costs more to purchase than some of the other seeds that you get. Most of my other seeds, I've paid maybe $1 for some of the larger packs, sometimes $1.50. Most of the time, I just get them for like 25 cents or something, because I'll catch them at the end of the season when they're trying to clearance them out. So, and I will save my seed from year to year. I never have a problem with germination on the next year. So I just save my seed. So anyway, this is the corn that I bought for $7. And this is the one ear that I saved, which has more corn than that bag. So a little word to the wise. I think that there are some places out there that are making quite a bit of money off of people just buying these little small bags of corn. Just a speculation, but I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding here. Anyway, that is it. I have saved more seed, of course, for cantaloupe and things like that I have dried out. For me personally, you cannot have enough seed because like I said, I save it from year to year. I never have a problem with it germinating the next year, and I don't have to buy it then. So why not? Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell to see more notices of videos coming out in the future. And we will see you in the next one.